report, some 92% of Americans have delayed or abandoned medical care because of how expensive it is, according to a survey. All this and a lot more coming up. It seems the fear of the US voters is getting to Donald Trump, driving him into despair as far as the Iran war is concerned. Let's first walk you through what's unfolded and then take you behind the scenes and decode for you what's been brewing. On the face of it, it was another day, another warning coming in from Donald Trump. But this one, according to him, is the last chance for Iran, or in his words, the country will face decapitation. That was the word he used. In fact, he said that talks with Tehran had started and that Iran faces a last chance to reach a deal. He said they are going on right now when he was asked about those negotiations, adding that discussions were taking place at the request of Iran, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar. In fact, he declared this is the last chance for Iran to sign a good document, and he wants to give them every last chance before decapitation. Qatar's foreign ministry spokesperson later said diplomatic contacts had reached very progressive stages. And how has Iran reacted? Iran reportedly earlier denied talks were taking place. Iranian officials earlier insisted no negotiations with America were taking place and said its only talks are with Oman about the Strait of Hormuz and that no major meetings were planned this week. Even US officials earlier reportedly contradicted Donald Trump with a report saying no talks were planned, citing US officials. This was a CBS News report. And in the latest, Marco Rubio saying talks have progressed, but there's no finality yet. So what's even going on and where do things stand? After all, a lot depends on these talks, and the world has been watching on with bated breath as the twists and turns continue. But there might be a ray of hope as of now, with Qatar reportedly saying mediators were making progress in those efforts to end the US-Iran war. But as of now, no clear end in sight. Israel's attacks in Gaza have also continued. Netanyahu has been rather tough to deal with. And the polls just keep adding to Trump's growing pile of troubles. Let's tell you more about how the Americans really feel as far as the Iran war is concerned. It's bad news for Donald Trump. Let's just take you through two key numbers, some of the many numbers that tell us more about what the Americans really say. According to this survey, 28% of the US adults approve of Trump's handling of the Iran war, only 28%. That's not all. 64% US adults say that the ongoing fighting is not worth the risks. That's a huge chunk, 64%. In fact, Trump's approval ratings have also been dipping. And that's not the only survey. After a spate of bad polls, President Trump has simply declared they were not true. Let's tell you more about what he has said. Reacting to the many polls, Trump declared, "My real polling numbers, not those made up by the fake news media, are the best they have ever been." So according to him, these numbers are false. In fact, he also earlier said he also earlier declared that he believed that any polling showing discontent was, quote unquote, the radical left's fake poll numbers. Trump did not criticize a specific recent poll or cite polling that shows him to be more popular as such. In fact, his real poll numbers are at or near the lowest they have ever been in some non-partisan surveys. And while people around the world have also been watching on, paying the price thanks to Trump's war, The war has driven up the cost of oil around the world. And of course, it's been pinching Americans, to say the least, who are reportedly paying, on average, more for gas than they have since 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine. That's the extent of the damage to their pockets. Trump has even gone to the extent earlier declaring that the US does not need the Strait of Hormuz. But whatever he might say or try and portray, he cannot ignore the sentiment on the ground. And that's what the real story here is. That's what's been brewing behind the scenes. And maybe even that explains his various moves over the weekend. He appears to be upping the ante aimed at ending the war that polling shows Americans increasingly oppose. He might say this is the last chance for Iran. But will it work is the big question. Trump certainly hopes that it does. This war is increasingly unsustainable for Trump domestically on multiple levels. Not just the depleting patience of the Americans, but also America's depleting stockpiles. Trump, in fact, has been the only president in modern era to take the country to war without the support of the American public, despite the fact that Trump ran on getting and keeping America out of wars, or so he proclaimed. The conflict has dragged on. In fact, Trump has also dismissed the pains being experienced from the war, saying they are temporary. And as Republicans face that uphill battle as far as the midterm elections are concerned, even Trump's closest allies have intensified their calls for a clear end to the conflict. And questions have been mounting about the sustainability of the US military campaign. The US Army has reportedly used up much of its stockpile of highly accurate long-range missiles during the war. No wonder then, exasperated was the word used to describe Donald Trump, not by some opinion piece or some report, but by US officials reportedly. And let's also tell you more about how Trump has been spending the last few days, specifically the weekend. His bizarre set of rants and AI-generated posts continued. Let's just get you a sample. Trump clearly wants to try and show that he is the savior of the world, showing pictures like these, AI-generated, trying to put him in the same league as earlier fellow presidents. He wants to try and show that he is in control, the warrior, savior of the world, championing the cause as far as fighting this war is concerned, it seems. He wants to show he is winning, at least on social media. But with the midterm elections inching closer, he wants to also try and show that he is steering the ship and leading from the front. But the pressure has only been mounting, and Trump might try and put on a brave front, but the fear of the US voters seems to be increasingly getting to him, driving him into despair, it seems. Shifting focus now, 3 spectacular sky events, one single day. And the internet is already talking about it. In fact, even calling it the end of the world. August 12th, mark that date on your calendar. It will be bringing a rare cosmic lineup that has sparked wild doomsday theories online, a lot of chatter. Some claim it's a warning, others call it the universe's biggest show of the year. But what's really happening on that day? We tell you all that you need to know.
A trinity of cosmic events on August 12th is being seen by many as an ominous warning to the world. Scientists say there is no link between these cosmic events and there is no reason to fear. They simply happen to fall on the same date. Even so, the combination of the spectacular cosmic events converging within hours of one another promises breathtaking views across different parts of the world. The first event is a total solar eclipse. The moon will pass directly between the Earth and the Sun, briefly turning day into darkness along a narrow path. The eclipse will be visible across parts of Greenland, Iceland, Spain, and Portugal. Western Iceland and northern Spain are expected to offer some of the best views, with the westernmost points of Iceland expected to experience the longest spell of darkness. People across parts of Europe, the United States, eastern Canada, northwest Africa can also see a partial eclipse. Once the night falls, the Perseid meteor shower will take over the sky. According to NASA, it is considered the best meteor shower of the year. Swift and bright meteors frequently leave long trails of light and color behind them as they streak through Earth's atmosphere. Under dark and clear conditions, viewers could spot up to 100 meteors every hour. The shower peaks overnight from August 12th into August 13th, with the best viewing expected between late night and dawn across the world. The best time to view the Perseid meteor shower in India is expected to be between 2 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. on the pre-dawn mornings of August 12th and August 13th, and before sunrise, another treat awaits of a six-planet parade. Mercury, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune will appear stretched across the sky in a rare planetary parade. Mars and Saturn should be easy to spot with the naked eye. Mercury and Jupiter will stay low on the eastern horizon. Binoculars will help reveal Uranus, while Neptune will require a telescope. Across much of the northern hemisphere, the ideal viewing window is expected to be between 30 to 60 minutes before sunrise, while the best time to watch the six-planet alignment in India on August 12th is between 5 to 5:30 a.m., roughly 45 to 90 minutes before sunrise. Some netizens have linked the triple event to apocalyptic predictions, but astronomers and scientists say there is no scientific evidence behind those claims. It is simply a remarkable cosmic coincidence.
Pakistan's Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has accused Al Jazeera of doing what it claimed to be yellow journalism, quote unquote. It blamed the Qatari broadcaster for its coverage of violence during the POK elections. Users in Pakistan reported access to the broadcaster's website had been blocked, though there is no formal government directive on this. In fact, Pakistan accused the network of selective reporting and of misrepresenting the elections and the voting process, allegedly. Pakistan government's post reading, I'm quoting now, "We have taken note of Al Jazeera's selective reporting from hand-picked polling stations in Muzaffarabad. Through carefully chosen timings and scripted statements from selected individuals, the channel has sought to misrepresent the elections and the voting process. Such yellow journalism only confirms the agenda of external actors, the agenda of external actors with vested interests who are attempting to delegitimize this electoral exercise, allegedly." Quote unquote, that is what Pakistan claims. Now, this comes days after a Pakistani general warned against Afghanistan-India ties, remember, asking the Muslim-majority neighbor not to associate with, quote-unquote, kafirs or disbelievers. Listen to this.
The real relationship between the Indian BJP or RSS and the Taliban regime is that of a master and a slave. The oppressive system in India is their master and they are its servants. What is the RSS doing? What is this so-called Hindu Rashtra doing? It is oppressing Muslims, oppressing Kashmiris, committing injustice. And what are they doing? They are serving that agenda even more than them. What kind of Islam is this? They are doing an even greater disservice.
But here's the context. Al Jazeera is a channel from Qatar, a Muslim-majority nation, with which Pakistan has traditionally enjoyed friendly ties. So it's not about kafirs, quote unquote. Then what really is it? This is typical Pakistan for you, invoking a religious binary to explain geopolitical rivalries and casting itself as the defender of the Muslim world, confronting hostile non-Muslim adversaries. That's the picture it wants to portray. But none of this matters when Pakistan is killing, suppressing its own people. Take a look at what's been happening, for example, from POK to regions along its border with Afghanistan, including Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan. So what exactly is Pakistan even trying to hide here? The statistics that I will be showing you makes the picture even clearer. Pakistan reeling under a severe economic distress period, according to its own government data, in fact. National poverty rate in the country has surged by 7%, pushing approximately 27 million additional people into financial distress over the last 6 years itself, and bringing the total number of impoverished population of the country to 70 million. The surge in poverty is attributed to prolonged economic shocks, including record high inflation, currency depreciation, IMF stabilization measures, catastrophic climate events, floods, of course, the West Asia conflict as well. According to a recent report by Reuters, Pakistan has asked the United States for a $10 billion exchange stabilization facility. Pakistan remains under $7 billion IMF discipline that has required politically unpopular tax increases, spending restraint, and reforms. Islamabad narrowly avoided default in 2023, remember, with a $3 billion IMF standby deal, and later secured a $7 billion extended fund facility along with a separate $1.3 billion loan. But its reserves still depend on official financing, rollovers, and deposits from China and Saudi Arabia. Pakistan's curb on Al Jazeera is a calculated move. It could have answered with facts, challenging the substance of Al Jazeera's reporting, perhaps, through evidence or even independent verification. Instead, it chose to target the messenger. If Pakistan is willing to restrict and delegitimize one of the most influential media organizations in the Islamic world, then kafirs were never the real problem. Scrutiny is. Shifting focus, a fresh wave of strikes sweeping across Russia and Ukraine as both sides traded attacks. Russia has unleashed powerful glide bombs on Sumy, claiming at least 3 lives, leaving several injured, marking a deadly escalation in the war. This even as Ukraine carries out deep strikes inside Russia. In the latest, Ukraine has expressed outrage after a drone is seen chasing down and injuring a street vendor in the southern Ukrainian city of Kherson. The video released by Ukraine showing the drone pursuing an unidentified man around a van being used as a street stand before exploding after he dives for cover behind the vehicle. Take a look. Ukraine, in fact, claims the man has survived but suffered shock and shrapnel injuries. President Zelensky has denounced it as a deliberate hunt targeting civilians. He has urged his Western allies to make Russia think seriously about peace rather than expanding the range of its drones. The Russian military, meanwhile, has rained down devastating wave of glide bomb attacks on northern Ukrainian city of Sumy. Ukrainian authorities claim 6 glide bombs hit civilian infrastructure in the city. But Russia maintains that it never targets civilians and civilian-related infrastructure in Ukraine. Now, just for context, this comes a day after Moscow dropped 8 precision-guided bombs within just 90 minutes. Russia has used glide bombs against Ukrainian towns and cities since it invaded its neighbor more than 4 years ago. The Soviet-era bombs are we're also talking about guidance systems and can carry about 3,000 kilograms of explosives, leaving huge craters. Ukraine has no effective countermeasures, reportedly. Now, it's also striking back. 2 Wildberries warehouses reportedly have been hit by Ukrainian strikes, with another site apparently linked to Russia's largest online retailer also damaged near Moscow. Ukraine has been targeting facilities operated by the company, remember, often dubbed the Russian Amazon. And this has been happening in recent weeks. Although Kiev claims the depots supply the Russian military, allegedly, Moscow denies. Moscow claims the fresh aerial assault has claimed 5 lives and has left several injured. Close to 20 Wildberries logistics sites and warehouses have been hit by Ukraine across Russia in the past 2 weeks. And as the fighting rages on, Ukrainian energy minister has warned that Russia could shift its winter campaign from attacking Ukraine's power grid to targeting water infrastructure. He has warned that civilians would struggle to survive prolonged disruptions to water and sewage services. This even as Ukraine hopes its long-range strikes against Russian oil refineries and tougher Western sanctions will pressure Moscow into ending the war this autumn. Time now to take a quick look at the global headlines at this hour, taking you around the world in 120 seconds.
Palestinians in Gaza City bury the remains of 112 family members of the same extended family nearly 3 years after they were killed in Israeli strikes. The mostly decomposed bodies were wrapped in Palestinian flags and laid on the ground in an open field in Gaza's Sabra neighborhood. The Indonesian Navy recovers the bodies of victims after a passenger ferry caught fire off Java over the weekend. Officials say all survivors have been accounted for, confirming 5 dead in the incident. At least 12 people, including 8 passengers and 4 crew members on board a Phuket-Delhi Air India flight, sustain injuries on their heads when the aircraft experienced a momentary change in altitude during a mid-air turbulence. Toll rises to 87 in India's northeastern Assam after heavy rains and swollen rivers triggers severe floods in the region, causing widespread destruction to life and property. Over 1.14 million people are impacted by the flood fury. Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal leads a protest march in New Delhi against the Indian government's E20 fuel program, with supporters raising concerns over the use of ethanol-blended petrol. E20 petrol, which contains 20% ethanol, has come under scrutiny after viral social media posts alleged that it could harm engines and increase maintenance costs in vehicles. Pilgrims in Iraq's holy city of Karbala for the Arba'in pilgrimage, one of the largest annual Shiite religious gatherings. Pilgrims travel from across Iraq and beyond under heightened security.
Shifting focus, the political slugfest between the ruling TVK and the opposition DMK in Tamil Nadu has hit a whole new low. This is our special focus coming in from South India. In fact, dramatic scenes unfolded in Chennai today as the TVK government upped the ante against the leader of opposition over his alleged derogatory remarks on actor Trisha. A high-voltage political drama played out in the afternoon as the police arrested the leader from his residence. The arrest followed an FIR against him over the alleged derogatory remarks. 9 charges, including insulting a woman's modesty, were invoked against the leader. Additionally, Section 4 of the Tamil Nadu Prohibition of Harassment of Women Act and Section 67 of the IT Act were also invoked. Just moments ago, the opposition leader has been released from police custody. And these are the visuals of his release after hours of questioning by the Tamil Nadu police. The developments coming a day after a controversy erupted during the DMK's protest. During his speech, the leader was interrupted by chants of Trisha as he criticized the Chief Minister Vijay. And as the chants continued, he paused and made a remark which has been widely interpreted as inappropriate, misogynistic, and a double-meaning reference to Trisha. The DMK president and former Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has come out in the leader's support. In a statement, Stalin termed his arrest as TVK's bid to deflect attention from the ongoing Kaveri water dispute with Karnataka. Stalin accused Vijay's government of attempting to intimidate the leader by filing various charges against him. Earlier, as he was being taken where he made the controversial remark, the DMK party cadre also attempted to offer him food but were not allowed by the police. So a lot has been happening. This also led to tense exchanges between the two sides. Not just that, the TVK has written to the National Commission for Women, seeking action against the leader, calling the remarks deeply troubling. The TVK said the language normalizes the objectification and verbal harassment of women in public spaces. And as the politics over this matter intensifies, the DMK has shared an image on social media showing what seems to be young M.K. Stalin and former Chief Minister Karunanidhi getting arrested by the police in the past. The image carried the caption, I'm quoting, "Justice will prevail over injustice." The high-profile arrest is reminiscent of the political battles in the past as well, when political vendetta in a way led to similar police action allegedly. Back in June 2001, police had forcibly entered former Chief Minister Karunanidhi's residence in Chennai, physically pulling and lifting the leader amid high political tension and on live television. However, the current episode also marking another chapter of a different kind in this growing public rivalry between the two sides. Since the start of Vijay's term as Chief Minister in the state, the two parties have routinely clashed over a range of issues, from alleged bribing of legislators to the ongoing Kaveri water sharing row, the dam dispute. Over the past couple of weeks itself, the DMK has increasingly tried to corner Vijay over the Kaveri water dispute. We've been telling you about this. From accusing him of betraying the state's farmers allegedly to not doing enough to safeguard the state's interests, the criticism was turning increasingly personal in a way. And with the latest episode in a way also dragging Trisha into the debate, the political battle seems to have crossed a dangerous line, and what happens next will be closely watched. The latest comments also reigniting questions over the tone of Tamil Nadu's political discourse, where personal attacks are increasingly overshadowing public issues. The bigger challenge for the political leaders right now is not about winning the narrative or the war of words. It's about ensuring that political rivalry does not descend into an ugly battle at the cost of basic decency and core issues. Before we go on any further, here's what's coming up on the show for you tonight. A lot more in store. We're getting you a detailed report on those wildfires which are raging in different parts of the world, from the US to Europe. We tell you more about the situation on the ground. The US has reported deaths as a result of a parasitic illness outbreak. We tell you more about the outbreak and the measures being taken. A man miraculously survived a fall after jumping from the Brooklyn Bridge. Why did he do that and what happened later? We tell you all that you need to know. A lot more coming up. How expensive is healthcare in your part of the world? For millions of Americans, a visit to the doctor has become a luxury in a way that they simply cannot afford. Let's tell you more about what a new survey reveals. It tells us about the staggering cost of healthcare that is forcing many Americans to even delay treatment, skip appointments, and even ration medicines. A survey of over 1,500 US adults by a financial services firm found 92% of those surveyed have delayed or avoided medical care because of the costs, with young adults being the worst affected. Imagine that. According to the study, more than 94% of those aged 18 to 28 said they had put off treatment for financial reasons, followed by Americans between 29 and 44 years of age. The report says the findings highlight a growing disconnect between having health insurance and feeling financially protected. Rising medical bills are allegedly pushing many American families to postpone treatment, cut back on essential spending, and fall into debt reportedly. And gender also plays a role. According to the study, women are more likely than men to delay medical care, while age and insurance status further influence those decisions. According to a February 2026 analysis by a healthcare marketplace, an uninsured visit to a doctor's office costs an average of $171 US across major US cities. And the financial strain is widespread, by the way. Around 85% of Americans say they carry medical debt. 85%. A February poll by an American non-profit organization estimating total medical debt at $220 billion US. Total medical debt, $220 billion US. That's nearly $960 US for every adult with medical debt. The cost of delaying care is proving severe. A 2025 survey by the same American non-profit organization found that nearly 1 in 5 adults said that their health worsened after skipping a doctor's visit. Among people aged 64 and younger, that number jumps to 42%. Prescription medicines are also becoming less affordable. Another study by the American non-profit organization found 31% of adults switched to over-the-counter medicines because prescription drugs were too expensive. 19% admitted skipping doses or splitting pills to make their medication last longer. Imagine that. That's the extent to which people are going. The Trump administration, remember, has proposed measures to bring down healthcare costs, including lowering prescription drug prices. Healthcare costs across the US reportedly also rising amid higher inflation. After easing to 2.4% in February, inflation in the US climbed to 4.2% in May amid the Iran-US war. Healthcare costs, in fact, are further projected to continue rising across the US. through 2027, suggesting affordability will continue to remain a major concern for millions of Americans, unfortunately. Our next story is from France. Have you ever felt frustrated over the toxic culture perhaps at your workplace? Felt too bothered about what was happening elsewhere? Let's tell you more about what's been brewing in France for staff connected to the French Prime Minister's office, allegedly. The Paris public prosecutor has opened a preliminary inquiry into alleged workplace bullying there. The trigger for this investigation was a woman who handled issues related to correspondence for the Prime Minister's office. According to reports, she tried to take her own life in April, allegedly, by throwing herself under a train. But a commuter saved her life, reportedly. After her attempted suicide, allegedly, she filed a complaint, reportedly, against alleged harassment. Her lawyer told the media that her client was no longer invited to meetings and was often mocked at, allegedly. Now, the French Prime Minister's services, comprising 50 departments, directorates, missions, and accounts for around 3,500 employees. Since October last year, reports indicating the Prime Minister's services have seen 2 suicides, allegedly, 2 suicide attempts, allegedly, and 1 mysterious death. Just to be clear, none of these people directly worked with the French Prime Minister, reportedly. But what really have been the reasons for this happening? Reportedly, toxic workplace culture has come under the scanner. For instance, one complaint made to the Paris state prosecutor in June cited institutional bullying in certain departments. It reportedly claimed that this factor was behind one of the suicide attempts. The other issue being talked about is the alleged instability of the government, which resulted in frequent staffing cuts and management changes. In the last 2 years alone, France has had 4 prime ministers, remember. In the wake of this alleged suicide crisis, the French Prime Minister's services stepped in while expressing full respect and support to colleagues and their families. Senior officials reportedly stressed that psychological welfare was a constant priority for the Prime Minister's services. They said that a specialist audit on workplace well-being would be conducted. They also revealed that an inquiry was underway in 3 specific cases. 1 of an attempted suicide, allegedly, and 2 suicides, reportedly. Two people have died in Michigan in the United States because of the ongoing outbreak of a parasitic illness, which also marks the first confirmed deaths in America linked to this infection. Health officials say both patients had underlying medical conditions that may have been worsened by the illness and dehydration. Authorities have not released any additional details about the victims. Let's tell you more about what this illness is. It's basically an intestinal illness caused by a parasite. It spreads through contaminated food or water. Symptoms usually begin about 1 week after exposure and can continue for weeks if untreated. The illness may come and go if medical care is not sought on time, and person-to-person spread is not common. Common symptoms include watery diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, loss of appetite. People may also experience fatigue, weight loss, bloating, and a mild fever. Symptoms can also vary from person to person. In 2019, the United States reported its highest number of these cases, with about 4,700 infections reportedly. The current outbreak has grown significantly and broken all records. More than 18,000 confirmed or suspected cases have been reported across the United States. Health officials have identified lettuce from Mexico served at a particular restaurant location in 9 states as a source of the widespread outbreak. The illness is diagnosed through specialized stool tests because the parasite can be difficult to detect. Multiple samples may be needed. Treatment usually involves prescribed antibiotics. Doctors recommend completing the full course of medication and drinking a lot of water to prevent dehydration. And to reduce the risk, fruits and vegetables must be washed thoroughly before eating, drink safe, treated, boiled water, maintain good food hygiene and hand washing habits. Staying hydrated is also extremely important, especially if the symptoms develop. Shifting focus now to Gujarat in India, it remains on high alert. As the Chandipura virus cases rise, the state health minister in fact has said 35 of the 184 suspected cases have tested positive for the infection. Let's break it down, but first telling you about how all the affected patients are below 15 years of age. The state has reported 22 deaths linked to the outbreak so far. The State Health Department has intensified surveillance and testing efforts across the affected areas and is working to identify and isolate the suspected cases.
Super specialist doctors and our health team conduct tests in all areas where patients are found and also test others and family members. However, no patient has been found in the same area yet. Therefore, finding and researching the case has become very difficult.
Let's tell you more about this virus. According to the World Health Organization, it is a member of the Rhabdoviridae family. It's known to cause sporadic cases and outbreaks of acute encephalitis syndrome, which is a serious condition that leads to inflammation of the brain. It was first identified in 1965 in the Chandipura village in Maharashtra, from which it gets its name. The virus is transmitted by vectors like sandflies, mosquitoes, ticks. Symptoms usually appear suddenly and may become severe within a short period. Common symptoms include high fever, severe headache, vomiting, weakness, fatigue, muscle pain, irritability or unusual drowsiness, convulsions as well, loss of confusion in severe cases. There is currently no specific antiviral medicine or vaccine available. Treatment mainly focuses on supportive care to manage the symptoms and prevent complications. Shifting focus, a growing waistline is more than just a cosmetic concern as such. Health experts say the real danger is not just about how much fat some carry, but where the body stores it. As Britain's Prime Minister faces attention in a way from British media over his midlife weight, doctors, health experts highlighting 5 important steps that can be taken to reduce the harmful belly fat. Experts say fat that builds up deep inside the abdomen surrounds vital organs and raises the risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, even fatty liver disease. They say men become more vulnerable, especially after the age of 40, as the muscle mass declines, activity levels often fall, and hormonal changes affect how the body burns energy. Doctors say the first step is to combine regular cardio exercise with strength training. Building muscle helps the body burn more calories throughout the day. And second, they recommend eating a balanced, calorie-controlled diet rich in fiber while avoiding extreme eating plans that may not support long-term heart health. Third, experts advise cutting back on alcohol. Research links heavier drinking with a significant increase in dangerous abdominal fat, even beyond the calories alcohol contains. Number 4, men should monitor their waistline instead of relying only on body weight as such. Health guidance suggests keeping the weight measurement to less than half of a person's height, basically. Finally, specialists say even modest weight loss can make a big difference. Losing 5 to 10% of body weight, for example, can sharply reduce fat in the liver and around the internal organs, lowering the risk of serious illness. Doctors say the overall message is quite simple. Don't focus only on the number on that scale. Pay attention to your waistline. Stay active, eat wisely, and act early to protect your long-term health. On to a special report. From the US to Europe, wildfires raging across different parts of the world. Thousands have been displaced. Firefighters have been scrambling to contain those fires. Let's take you through some of these images that have been coming in.
Really sad. I mean, it looks like bombs went off because the houses are just in ashes. I mean, there's fireplaces standing and cars burned, so.
Jammu and Kashmir's cricket revolution is gathering pace, the latest milestone being a Pacers maiden India call-up. Nabi could soon become the first ever Test cricketer from there, and that just reflects how far cricket has really come in the valley. From makeshift grounds to the biggest stage in world cricket, Jammu and Kashmir's journey has been one of resilience, determination, and raw talent. The first breakthrough came in 2014, when Parvez Rasool became the first cricketer from there to represent India. Although his international career was limited to the white ball format, he inspired an entire generation of youngsters to dream big. The explosive pacer Umran Malik took the cricket world by storm with his pace regularly breaching the 150 kilometers per hour mark as well. He debuted for India in 2022. Meanwhile, Abdul Samad continues to excite the country in the IPL with his raw power hitting. And now, Nabi's turn. The 29-year-old seamer from Baramulla has been rewarded for his remarkable consistency in domestic cricket. He picked up 104 wickets across the last two Ranji Trophy seasons, including 60 in the 2025-26 campaign. He played a key role, in fact, in Jammu and Kashmir's historic Ranji Trophy title, which itself is one of Indian cricket's most remarkable stories. The team has recently got the better of likes of powerhouses Mumbai and Karnataka. Nabi also impressed on the tour of Sri Lanka. Remember, his performances have now earned him a place in India's Test squad as well, replacing the injured Jasprit Bumrah for the two-match series against Sri Lanka. He could become the first player from the region to feature for India in Test cricket, in fact. Improving infrastructure, greater exposure through the IPL, stronger domestic performances, and a new generation that's willing to believe. This has transformed Jammu and Kashmir into a genuine cricketing hub. And the message from the valley is loud and clear. The region is no longer just producing promising cricketers. It's also now producing international cricketers. Let's now get you some offbeat stories. Chaotic scenes were witnessed at New York's Brooklyn Bridge. A 44-year-old man climbed the iconic structure, stripped naked, and jumped into the East River using a makeshift parachute. He survived. He was rescued by the police and later arrested. Take a look.
Todo lo que está pasando, graba los policías que van caminando. I can't see that. Tengo que llegar hasta allá arriba. Con la maleta, ¿sí ves? Con la maleta. No.
Time now to get you one of the most powerful images of the day. A star giant panda at a resort in North China celebrated his 15th birthday. A birthday cake made of bamboo, lotus leaves, and chilled watermelon, specially prepared for the occasion. Take a look at that. Let's also now focus on a big question hanging in the air, the answer to which determines a lot. The US Treasury Secretary in the latest has hinted that the US and Iran could reach a deal on reopening the Strait of Hormuz by Wednesday. But with Iran reportedly demanding control over inbound shipping in Hormuz, will it create complications for a potential deal is the big question. Let's also now take a look at three major events from around the world that will shape headlines over the next 24 hours. Former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina set to address a press conference virtually in New Delhi 2 years after she was forced to leave the country. She is likely to outline her homecoming plans. Jordan will host a meeting of foreign ministers of Arab states to discuss Israel's policies in Jerusalem. The foreign ministers of Indonesia, Pakistan, Turkey, Malaysia will also take part in the deliberations. Imran Khan's PTI has called for a rally on Wednesday in Peshawar to protest against his prolonged incarceration. The cricketer turned politician has been in jail for 3 years now. On that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Gravitas Tonight. This is me, Molly Gampir, signing off. Thanks very much for watching.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide, because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter, because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. So you get a much wider and deeper understanding of stories from around the world, a 360-degree analysis. An award-winning documentary series, week after week creating the maximum impact. Watch WION Wide Angle at these times on WION, World is One.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. More than 200,000 civilian homes have been destroyed. This looks like it used to be a toy for a little girl. Can't but wonder while I'm walking between all of this rubble, how many lives were destroyed, how many kids were traumatized, how many women lost their families. If this isn't a war crime, then what is? From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Radi Francis for WION World is One.
Get the latest updates. Breaking news. Credible, clear, continuous. Experts across aisles. Diverse voices, one platform. WION World is One. WION.